Welcome to this retrospective slash review for the video game Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. And as you can see from the background here, I'm just going to have the game running in the background. It does have a nice little demo loop, so it's not like I have to go in and have any pre-recorded game footage, so that's a nice addition. So without further ado, just going to jump into what my thoughts are on this game and kind of go from there. So this is a fan game remake of the original 8-bit Game Gear game that came out in the 90s sometime, probably, most likely. And I don't have any nostalgia or whatnot as far as the 8-bit Game Gear game is concerned, since I'm actually a fairly new player to playing any of the Sonic games, so almost all these games are new to me. And I'm even more new to the fan game side of things because I've never actually played any fan games before this one, I should say. And so this is my first exposure to both the story of Sonic Triple Trouble as well as to a fan game. Now, from what I've seen online and whatnot, this fan game comes very highly recommended. And after playing through it myself, I can see why it's highly recommended. It's a really good game, and it's done mostly in the vein of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You can see it's very similar to it. It has a lot of the same power-ups are included in the game. Graphically, it looks a lot like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It picks up right after Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I think I mentioned in one of my videos during my playthrough that there's a little bit of artistic liberty to change a certain aspect of the story around to make a little more sense, and I think that that change is very appreciated. Basically, it does make a lot more sense to do the minor change, and just from looking over like some of the discussions on the 8-bit Sonic game and what exactly it had, it's not that much of a stretch to say that what the author did wasn't that huge of a leap as far as logic is concerned. So from that perspective, very good. Now, again, I don't have a lot of exposure to the Game Gear version, but I can definitely say the music in this game is just absolutely amazing. It's great. Obviously, the graphics being a lot like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, they look very good. I mean, could it be, look newer? I suppose you could say, like newer games that are out now. It could, but the author's intention was to make this look like a 16-bit game that you would have seen originally on the Genesis. And personally, I think the graphics still look very good, even though they were designed with a little bit of a retro feel in mind. They still look amazing. So graphics and sound are just absolutely top notch in this. Level design is actually very good too. I mean, a lot like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, this game does reward exploration of the game. And it, for me and my personal play style, that works great because I am a person that does take a little bit extra time in the levels to explore. And honestly, that worked out very well. And I got all the Chaos Emeralds in my first playthrough. I didn't have to go back and redo any stages to try and search for any Chaos Emeralds. I found them very quickly. So I wouldn't say that the Chaos Emerald minigame locations are a little bit dastardly in their hidden properties. I think they're actually fairly easy to find. I mean, you do have to put forth a little bit of effort, but it's not something where you have to have a guide or anything like that to help you find the Chaos Emerald locations. Speaking of the Chaos Emerald minigames, the minigame for the Chaos Emerald in this was actually really good. I think it's probably one of my favorite Chaos Emerald minigames in any Sonic game I've played up to this point, honestly. Not to say that it's super easy, because it wasn't. There were actually quite a few areas where I was challenged trying to get the Chaos Emerald, but a nice feature here for this game that I haven't seen in any other Sonic game that I've played as of now is that you have the ability to spend one of your extra lives to take a shot at doing the Chaos Emerald again. So that's a great feature. Maybe something that they did in some of the other Sonic games that I just haven't got around to, so maybe that's not a unique feature, but to me it's a unique feature, and definitely one that is well appreciated coming from the original 4 Sonic games, and even Sonic 4 and some of the other games I played. So that was a very welcome addition, to say the least. The bonus games, they're pretty good. They're not bad. They're not really frustrating. And speaking of frustrating, from a level design perspective, there's really no level in this game that just made me get really upset with, or rage quit, or want to do anything of that nature. So it was, very well designed from beginning to end. In fact, if there's one criticism I can really levy at this game, it might be too easy. That's probably about the only fault I can really give this game, because I was able to get through it very well, not only with the Sonic and Tails playthrough, but even when I went back and played it again with Knuckles. Now, I don't know if Knuckles mode was something that was available previously, so that's possibly a new addition with this remake. And I think playing through with Knuckles introduced a little bit of a different way of playing the game to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, it really wasn't a huge change in how to go through all the levels. Story-wise, there wasn't a lot of change there either, but it was still nice to play with Knuckles. And yes, the first and last stage kind of bookend his playthrough to kind of give an idea of how everything got to where it was, basically, before Sonic and Tails went in there and saved the day, as it were. So I do appreciate that from a story mode perspective. There are other features to this game that I haven't honestly had a chance to play through yet. You can play what they call free play mode, where you can play with Amy Rose, and if you play through with both Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, you can also unlock Metal Sonic and Fang the Viper, Fang or Knack, whichever name you want to give the guy. I guess he had a different name when this came out originally in English back in the day, but I guess his original name was Fang the Sniper or something. They considered that too edgy, I guess, basically. But anyway, you can play through free play mode with those 3 other characters, and I mean, it looks like it might be fun, but at the same time, I'm not really sure if that's something I really want to do. But I guess it'd be a little bit different to try those characters out. There's also a competition mode, which admittedly I've also not played. But, from perspective of actually just any sort of type of game that you can play nowadays, the fact that this game is completely and totally free to download, not only the game, but also the soundtrack, you can get all of it for free from the website for it. And I think there's also a link to a place called Game Jolt or something. Either way, the game is completely and totally free, runs great, it looks great, sounds great. If you haven't played Sonic Triple Trouble or any fan games, I could definitely see why this one's highly recommended, and I would give it, a very high recommendation as well. Like I said, the only possible criticism I give to it is it's pretty easy. There were some challenging parts here and there, nothing, frustrating or anything, and easily overcome with any moderate degree of skill, I'd say. So that's the only reason why I probably won't give it a higher score than this, but I'd still say a 95% for this game is probably a very good score. It's very close to being even higher than that. It's really that good of a game. And if you like the classic style Sonic games, like I do, those are the games I've tried and played and enjoyed. If you like those games, you really owe it to yourself to give this one a try. There's no reason not to, basically. As long as you have a PC, you can fire this up, and I'm pretty sure this will play on just about anything that's out there at this point. It's 100% definitely worth your time, and it's a very good game. Initially, I thought it was just one person who did everything, but you could tell via the credits they did have a pretty good team of people behind it, and yeah, they did a great job, and can't recommend this enough. Now, it might make more sense if you are going to play this game to do Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles, and then this game, because it's like they all kind of go one right after the other, so you could almost consider this a little trilogy of Sonic games, and I would think that to cap off your trilogy with this one, you can't go wrong with that. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. Hope you give it a try, because it's definitely worth it. Well, anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.